Hey guys, and welcome to week 6 of international business. Now, last week we did have a look at international trade, if you can recall, and we looked at the reasons why it's important as well as some of the key theories to explain it. The reality, though, is that today, in practice, it's actually quite rare to have pure free trade actually occurring around the world. And the reason why is because governments usually, to at least some extent, do get involved in international trade, whether it's through a range of laws, like you can see here, instruments of trade, or general other preventative measures that mean they have some level of involvement in that trade. We're going to look at the reasons today why that is the case, and also some of the ways that they're able to do exactly that. So with that in mind, the objectives for this week is firstly to understand the political and economic arguments for government intervention in international trade. That is, why do governments bother to get involved in international trade? Secondly, exploring the instruments of trade policy used by governments to regulate international trade, the how of government intervention. We're going to review the historical development of the world trading system to the point as of today, and also understand the functions and workings of the World Trade Organization as well as the controversy surrounding that particular organization. Alright, so as we said before, last week we talked about how free trade may be defined as when governments do not intervene on what its citizens can buy, produce, or sell internationally. In theory, this will then allow a country to specialise in manufacturing and exporting products and services that it can produce most efficiently, according to theories like comparative and absolute advantage, or even that it has a national competitive advantage in, according to Porter's diamond model. And those theories explain, therefore, why we see Switzerland, for example, becoming experts in the production of watches like Rolex, and the Japanese becoming experts in the automotive manufacturing industries, as well as general consumer electronic goods. Now, while many nations often say, yes, we're all for free trade, we're all about it, we're not going to meddle in that, the reality is they do often intervene, at least to a certain extent, in that international trade, and it's usually to protect the interests of certain, usually politically important, interest groups, and this government intervention is known as managed trade. The reasons why governments do intervene in the trade in this way is based around two differing views. The first is for political reasons, and this is concerned usually with protecting the interests of one group of people, usually producers, typically at the expense of another group, which is usually the consumers, within their respective country. And a lot of critics of Donald Trump and his stylish haircut have labelled his arguments as very much politically based in terms of the reasons why he and his government have intervened in international trade. There are, however, also economic arguments for government intervention, which is typically concerned with boosting the overall wealth of a nation that benefits everyone. And those same critics of Trump usually point to Obama's regime as trying to make it rain for everyone rather than just one political group. Over the next video, we're going to look at some of the reasons why governments do intervene in international trade in a bit more detail.